Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another breakdown of gold spot versus the US dollar with FX.GOLDSMITH. Today's date, 2023-09-17 here on Sunday for me. Let's take a quick look at what happened over the last week and see what we can predict to happen over the upcoming week here for gold. Starting on the monthly time frame, as you can see, we have wick-filled majority of the previous month and we're starting to pull back. So let's see what we can see with price action on the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, like I mentioned in the previous YouTube analysis video, we did have that retest play form push all the way down into the 1900s, which was my first major key area, key target. And then I was thinking we could potentially come all the way down to the 1890s, which as you can see didn't happen. So got some strong rejection and liquidity around the 1900s. Last week was some of our kind of heavier news releases there. So let's see, looking just based on the weekly, you have to go based on the previous week, what had happened. We haven't closed fully below the support. We have respected the support just like this one. So we can predict a pullback and a continuation all the way to 1940 solely based on the weekly time frame. If that is the bias that we're looking for, essentially what we would be looking for in regards to price action is some support to form around the 1910s, 1900s again for a pullback of this bottom wick on the weekly, and then a continuation up. So let's see if we can look at the lower time frames and see if those things can coincide and make sense. So what happened here? We've come down over the last start of the month here, September, come down from the 1940s, made a support, made a new lower high, made a lower low, and here we are retesting this high. So we haven't fully closed above these kind of 1930s zone, which we know is a key zone. So we are just at the top of the zone now on this pullback. So strong bullish candle indicating good buying pressure there. So daily's bullish. Okay, let's drop down to the 4-hour, start marking up some zones for us. Grab our tools out here. Okay. So it seems like we've entered this kind of range here again. We did have this range in between 1930s, 1932, and 1915 here over the last few weeks prior to some heavy news releases. And then we finally kind of broke out. But now we are closing back within this range. So what we can see is we've closed above the 1915 from last week. So we're struggling in this range here. It's 150 pip, 160 pip range. So what we can see happen potentially is having this pullback, creating some support here, and that would line up with your daily, with your weekly, etc., right? Finding some support, filling that weekly wick, etc., and potentially climbing to the upside. That is an option. So looking for some support to form around the 1915s in order to take some long positions all the way to the top of the zone. At least we don't know if it's going to close above or respect. All we know is this is top of zone, this is bottom of zone for support. So you can have potential long positions here, right? Once you get some price action, some potential long positions there. If you don't close below, if you respect this area, right, consolidate, range, grab orders, liquidity, and drive up. Or if we push up right away, inversely, you can have some sells here if you don't close above, right? If we respect, looking left, if we respect this zone, what did we do? Come all the way back down, retest the lows, right? So it can inversely go the other way. If we push up immediately first, no bottom wick, no liquidity, no retest, you can have something like that. Obviously, that's based off of price action forming the way you want it to. But if you come down here, you create support, you can predict that that was the bottom wick for the daily, the bottom wick for the weekly, and a continuation. As you can see on the 1 hour, right, reaching top of zone, getting rejection, you have this clean traffic, this clean impulsive push based on fundamental news catalysts late last week. So you are expecting somewhat of a retest, at least down into these areas of support, something of that nature, if not even lower, back down into here before continuing bullish. So, yeah, what else can we see? That's pretty much it. I don't want to go any lower on the time frame just because we need price action, and this is quite a fairly large zone for us to take advantage of here. So let me type out so you guys can see 100% what I'm looking at. So no closure. Oh wow, I'm off today. No closure below, you're going to be looking for some buys, right? No closure above, you have closure above here, you're looking for buys. No closure above, you're going to be looking for sells. Closure below 1915 is some sells. Closure above. So this is how you can play the market both ways, right? Regardless of trend. Right now, we're not necessarily sure. We thought we were super bearish, right? We've done nothing but create lower lows and lower highs, right? Here was the problem. Great price action until this closure last week. So we either way would need a wick fill, some rejection, and to continue all the way down. So that would be where maybe you could look for some sells here, etc. Ultimately, because this closed bullish, the only thing we can get is a lower high creating, which is going to be a bearish, strong bearish candle close, right? A bullish and a bearish would make a low. So that would be a lower high, and we can continue all the way down. What we don't want to see happen are these daily highs, these weekly highs start to get broken, candles to close above here and start to trade up into the 1944. So either way, we can take advantage. That's a good thing about trading gold and trading the currency pair market, is that you can take advantage of price action in both directions. So yeah, and everybody sees the market a little differently, right? So ultimately, no closures above. I'm looking for sells in and around the 1928s all the way to 1930 area. And then inversely, no closure below here. I'm looking for buys to come back up. So this is ultimately the range we're in, guys. Just a quick review. Nothing crazy here. We gotta appreciate the fact that we closed back above this zone on the daily, so some support can get formed here. Again, 1915 continuation up, even a little higher in the 1920s, a smaller pullback here, something like that, and shooting back up, right? So be careful of what's to come. I'm not too sure if they have any fundamental news coming up. Let's take a quick look here before we sign off what we have coming up for the week. Nothing crazy, some building permits. FOMC on Wednesday, of course. Okay, so later in the week, we start to have some news releases. FOMC unemployment claims again. Flash PMI. Okay, so some heavy catalysts for next week. So let's see if first few days we can set up in the way that we want in order to take advantage of those momentum-filled news days and higher volume days. So other than that, guys, it's always key to do your analysis and predict the moves ahead of time. That way, when you see them, you can execute with confidence and hold your trades a little longer. If you don't pre-plan your analysis and, you're going to just be caught taking impulsive moves and not sticking to your plan ultimately because it's not concrete, right? So take the Sunday, figure out what can happen, have your options going both ways, and then ultimately just wait to see if the market can set up in that way. So other than that, you guys, thanks for watching. Of course, let's wait for price action to form today's market open and into Monday. Other than that, guys, have a great weekend. We'll see you for New York session. Thanks so much.